Hello everyone, my name is Syaiful Hidayat. I am student of IPNI Business School class of September 2021. Here I will present mind mapping of my course on global economics and international business with our lecturer, Prof. Roy Sample and Ibu Yulita Susanti, PhD. According to Prof. Roy and Ibu Yulita, our lecture divided in several parts. The first one is class material and the full review for the group assignment, and then multinational analysis for individual assignment and even analysis for individual assignment. We also got the two guest lecturer. That is Mr. Tanto Yahya. He is the ambassador of the New Zealand, and the second guest lecturer is Ibu Yasmin Galia Sofyan. She is the entrepreneur in Australia. The argumentary of global economy and international business is divided in several parts as per shown in the screen. As per graph, we can see that before 1870, the west-eastern part of the world, that is China and India, more dominant in the GDP. But after 1870, the rise of the industrial revolutions, the western part more dominant in GDP compared to eastern parts. But nowadays, the western company become sunset and the eastern country become rise again. The new economy is the old economy plus digitization, e-commerce, capital mobility and liberation, also globalizations. The new economy creates new market structure, new industry structure, new film structure, new business model. The three pillars of the new economy, that is the cost reduction, better customer services, and transparency and competitions. The rise of the new economy create more faster and interactions and transaction, globalization and localization, unbundling, reassembling businesses, organization, higher risk, higher return. We also learn about global economic turmoil, disruption, and VUCA, the digital disruptions. The death of, as per Joseph Alois, the death of the big company, not because of the competition between them, between the big company, but they dead because of the rise of new commodity, the new technology, the new source of supply, the new type of compensation, the new business model. As per Prof of China, rich people focus on opportunity, but poor people focus on obstacle. We also learn about digital economy and leisure economy. The debate over the job and wage for globalizations, increase wealth and efficiency in all nations, generate labor market flexibility in developed nations, advance the economy of developing nations. In the path of work inequality, income inequality, inequality between nations, weak gap between white collar and blue collar, inequality between nations, widening the gap in average income between rich and poor nations, global inequality, widening income inequality between all people of the world. Global trade, tariff, and quota. Tariff is tax on import. Quota is a physical limit on import. We are also learning about analysis of tariff and quota, intellectual properties of right, patent, copyright of trademark, industrial design, geographical designation, integrated circuit layout. Tariff and quota cause change in the production, consumption, and importation of the good on which they are levied. There are changes in other industries and on the performance of the economy as will as the effect work through the system. Consumer surplus is the value of the good or services that is in excess of what the customer has to pay. Example, you are willing to pay $100 for a pair of shoes, but can buy them for $60. Your customer surplus is $40. Producer surplus is the revenue received by the producer that is in excess of the minimum they need to produce a given amount. For example, you are willing to sell shoes you made for $40 a pair, but you can get $60. Your producer surplus is $20. Analysis of tariff and quota. Here is the graph describing correlation between price and quantity. Before the tariff was imposed, consumer surplus is A, B, C, D, E, F. Producer surplus is G. But after the tariff, consumer surplus is E and F. This is a loss of A, B, C, D. Producer surplus is A and G. This is a gain of A. Quota. When the tariff is imposed, foreigner producer can still increase their share of the market by becoming more efficient. When a quota is imposed, no matter how efficient foreign producers become, they cannot increase their share of the market. The next is international finance. There are international opportunity, investment opportunities, the marginal return of multinational company projects are above those of purely domestic firms, since multinational companies have expanded opportunity set of possible projects from which to select. Financing opportunity. Multinational can obtain capital funding at lower cost due to their larger opportunity to set funding sources around the world. International financial management task is choose the capital structure, price fund for firm, working capital and cash flow management, capital budgeting, managing currency risk, manage the diversity of international accounting and tax practices. Some countries are better equipped than other produce particular goods or services. That is the absolute advantage and comparative advantage. This is the graph describing the multinational company compared to purely domestic company, which is the multinational company have a set of projects that to be select to do first. And compared to the purely domestic company, the marginal is higher than purely domestic firm. International issues in global economy. Risk of we are learning of international business, risk of international business, cross culture risk, commercial risk, currency risk, country risk. The currency exchange rate. The currency exchange is price of one currency in terms of another. What we are learning about what factor determine exchange rate movement, how is the mechanism of the factor affect the exchange rates, the international monetary and finance system, and the global financial system. Overview of the subprime mortgage crisis, SPMC, A key factor was the availability of the easy money from the US Federal Reserve Bank. Many bad mortgages were securitized, bundled into investment assets, and sold in global financial market. Over the time, investors realized that many loans were high risk, which led to capital flight. Some countries imposed trade and investment barriers. The crisis highlights the importance of strong regulation, transparency, and supervision institutions in the global financial system. Prime mortgage versus subprime mortgage. Prime mortgage borrow less than 80% of house price. Good record from credit bureau, monthly payment less than 25% of income. Good credit scoring. Subprime mortgage, tarnished credit records, low credit scoring, pay high mortgage rates. The new model of mortgage lending. The traditional model is bank give mortgage loans to buyer and the buyer repay to the bank. With the new model, the bank uh, give loan to the buyer, to home buyer through the mortgage broker, and buyer repay the lending through the mortgage broker to bank. Impact of the crisis. Stock markets, Dow Jones had a drop below 30,000 from July 1400,000. First week of 08, the Dow Jones average fell 9%. Financial institution bankruptcy. The New Century Financial, American Home Mortgage, Sentinel Management Group, all closed. Economic conditions, recession, low GDP growth rate, business close out or lose money, weak financial market, low consumer spending, lose job. All the credit market, credit card, card loan. Introduction to international business. International trade and labor and environment standard. As a trade barrier has fallen, policy that not trade measure as act as limit for to further increase in the trade and integration. Difference in nation standard affect the flow and may unintentionally confer advantage or disadvantage. Difference in national standards can become source of conflict. Setting standard, mutual recognition of standard, harmonization standard, separate standard. The International Labour Office, ILO, define the following as basic right: prohibition of forced labor, freedom of association, the right to organize and bargain collectively, cessation of the exploitation of the child labor, non-discrimination in employment, trade and the environment. Issues related to the trade and environment standard are similar to trade and labor standard. Environmental standard usually rise the cost of production. Most of potential problem of using trade sanction to enforce labor standard apply to environmental standard. Alternative of trade measure need to separate production issue from trade issues. Economic offer three alternatives to trade measures for solving labor and environment problem. First, labeling, use of home country standard when investing abroad, negotiation. That all our my mind mapping of our lecture, global economy and international business. Thank you for watching my video. Please don't forget to comment and like. Terima kasih.